There is something stuck to your fence. It is brown, it is rough, it looks like a dried glob of spray foam insulation that someone forgot to clean up, or maybe a clump of old mud that hardened over the summer. It is about the size of a walnut, slightly oblong, with a texture that looks like hardened meringue. You have probably walked past it a dozen times without noticing. And now that you have noticed it, your first instinct is to scrape it off. Pry it loose with a flathead screwdriver or a putty knife. Flick it into the grass. Toss it in the bin. Stop. Put the tool down, because what you are about to destroy is not debris. It is not waste. It is a sealed biological vault. And inside it, right now, up to 200 living creatures are waiting for spring. What you are looking at is called an ootheca. It is the egg case of the praying mantis, order Mantidae. And by the time you finish hearing what is actually happening inside that small brown lump and what it means for your garden, you will understand why experienced gardeners who find one of these on their property do not remove it. They protect it. Let us start with how this thing got there, because the construction process alone is extraordinary. In late summer or early fall, a female praying mantis, often a Chinese mantis, Tenodera sinensis, or a Carolina mantis, Stagma mantis carolina, selects a sturdy vertical surface, a fence post, a branch, a garden stake. She backs up to it, and over the course of several hours, she extrudes a liquid protein from a specialized gland in her abdomen. As the liquid leaves her body, she whips air into it using appendages near her ovipositor, folding it into a dense, layered foam. She lays her eggs directly into this foam as she builds, depositing them in neat rows inside individual chambers. And then something remarkable happens. The foam hardens. Within hours, it cures from a soft froth into a rigid casing that feels like dried paper mache. That material is called spumulin, and it is not just insulation. Researchers at Deakin University and other institutions have identified two structural proteins inside it, mantis fibroin 1 and mantis fibroin 2, organized into coiled coil formations. That same coiled coil protein architecture is now being studied by biomaterials scientists as a template for synthetic materials, with potential applications in nanotechnology and even vaccine delivery systems. The engineering inside that small brown lump on your fence is, quite literally, attracting the attention of biomedical researchers who want to learn how to build things the way a mantis does. But the foam is only the container. What matters is what is inside. Depending on the species, a single ootheca holds between 50 and 300 eggs. 200 is common. Every one of those eggs contains a developing mantis nymph, suspended in embryonic pause through the entire winter. The foam regulates temperature. It resists moisture loss. It blocks parasitic wasps from reaching the interior chambers. And when spring arrives and sustained warm temperatures hold above 70 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 15 consecutive days, those eggs begin to hatch. The nymphs emerge through a thin seam running along the midline of the case, dropping on silk-like threads, and within hours, they disperse into your garden. A single ootheca can release a small army of predators in one morning. Here is where this becomes personal for your garden. A praying mantis nymph begins hunting the moment it lands. In its first days, it targets soft-bodied prey aphids, gnats, whiteflies, small leafhoppers. As it grows through a series of molts, its prey range expands. An adult praying mantis can consume more than 20 insects in a single day. Flies, moths, crickets, grasshoppers, beetles, caterpillars that would otherwise chew through your tomato leaves and brassica crops. And it does not stop when the sun goes down. The praying mantis is the only known predator that actively feeds at night on moths. And it is the only predator fast enough to reliably catch mosquitoes and houseflies in open air. The way it catches them is unlike anything else in your garden. The praying mantis is an ambush predator. It does not chase. It waits, perfectly still, camouflaged against a leaf or a stem, sometimes for hours. And when prey moves within range, it strikes with its raptorial forelegs, specialized grasping limbs lined with rows of sharp spines, in as little as 50 to 70 milliseconds. That is faster than a human blink. Research published in Biology Letters by scientists at the University of Sussex found that mantises actually adjust their strike speed in real time based on how fast the prey is moving. The strike is not a reflex. It is a calculated, flexible response calibrated to the target. And here's the part most people never hear. The praying mantis is the only invertebrate on Earth confirmed to possess stereoscopic vision, true three-dimensional depth perception. Every other insect sees the world in flat 2 dimensions. The mantis sees depth the way you do, by comparing slightly different images from its left and right eyes and calculating distance from the difference. Researchers at Newcastle University fitted mantises with tiny three-dimensional glasses, custom-built anaglyph lenses, and confirm not only that mantises see in 3 dimensions, but that their form of stereopsis works in a way never before observed in any animal. Human stereovision requires matching static images from both eyes. Mantis stereovision works by tracking movement alone. Their brains ignore background detail entirely and calculate depth only from the motion of the target. This is so computationally efficient that engineers at the University of Virginia are now modeling robotic vision systems based on it. The mantis does not just see your garden, it sees it in 3 dimensions, with a processing system so elegant that robotics engineers are trying to copy it. Now consider what happens when you scrape that ootheca off your fence. You are not removing a piece of debris. You are removing the next generation of every one of those hunters. 1 ootheca, 200 nymphs, each one capable of consuming thousands of pest insects over the course of a single growing season. And here is the compounding problem. A single blanket application of chemical pesticide can wipe out an entire local mantis population. And because mantises reproduce only once per year, through those oothecae, a population that gets wiped out does not bounce back next month. It can take years to reestablish. So here is what you should actually do. If you find an ootheca on your fence, your wall, your garden stake, or the branch of a shrub, leave it exactly where it is. Do not move it indoors. The warmth of your house can trigger premature hatching in the middle of winter, and the nymphs will emerge with no food source and no way to survive. If you need to prune a branch that has an ootheca attached, cut the branch and relocate it to another sheltered spot in your garden, at least a foot off the ground, tucked into the crook of a shrub, or tied loosely to a stake. Keep it out of direct contact with the soil, because ants will find it and consume the eggs before they hatch. And above all, do not spray anywhere near it. The nymphs that emerge in spring are extraordinarily small, 1/4 of an inch long, and extraordinarily vulnerable to any residual pesticide on nearby surfaces. That brown lump on your fence is not clutter. It is not damage. It is a sealed chamber holding 200 ambush predators with 3-dimensional vision and the fastest strike in your garden, each one waiting for the exact right temperature to emerge and begin doing the work that no spray bottle, no chemical, and no trap can do as precisely or as patiently. The next time you see one, you will know exactly what you are looking at, and you will leave it right where it is. Have you ever found a praying mantis egg case on your property? Maybe on a fence rail, a garden post, or the side of your house? Tell me about it in the comments. I read every single one, and this is exactly the kind of story this community was built for. And if you have ever wondered what else is hiding in plain sight on your property, something even smaller, even stranger, doing a job you never knew needed doing the next video is already waiting for you. This is 6 Legs Deep. I will see you in the next one.